Hey everyone, Chesburger. Welcome back to another sort of part slash episode in a little series I'm going to start doing, which is the Total Drama Apocalypse. If you've seen the zombies video, then you probably know exactly what's going on here. But if you haven't, I recommend you watch that one first, just so that you can get a gist of what goes on in these videos. But essentially, I am putting the Total Drama characters in an apocalypse scenario and who would come out on top and who would eventually die. The theme for today's episode is going to be based off of the Xenomorphs from the Alien franchise. With Romulus coming out, I thought it'd be a good idea to catch up on the hype. Yeah, I know I'm a sellout. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin. So here's all of our survivors. You can see Z's down there at the bottom. These are 100 characters, and we're going to do random.org to determine patient zero, which in this case would be like the first person who gets like face hugged by those little monster things. If you've seen Alien, you know what I'm talking about. So let's do that real quick. 18 is our number. Oh, it's it's Julia Garrett. That's an interesting start. It's Julia. That's kind of a big personality already taken out. So here's the tiers. If you haven't seen them, so this is a few days. This is the people who would survive for a few days, a couple weeks, a month, 3+ months, and then ultimately who will survive and come out on top. The three unfortunate ways to meet your demise are from just getting clapped by a Xeno, dies from the chest burster, the little bugger that comes out of your chest and then kills the host from the facehugger, and then who would just die of natural causes. Now, the thing with Xenos is that, this is not like a zombie scenario where the zombies kind of have their own little intelligence. The Xenos have their own intelligence, but it's not based off of the host. I mean, the genetic material is, but not like the intelligence of it. The Xenos have their like own set of intelligence where they can really, take out as many people as possible. So this is going to be really interesting to see who makes it on top. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe as it helps out the channel. It's completely optional. And now let's begin. So from a few days, I believe the first person's. I think Tom. Yeah, the fashion bloggers are dead. I think no, they would get killed by a chest person. I feel like they would go exploring. I do think that Scott. No, she would. She would be okay. I no Cameron would. No, he's getting clapped. He's getting clapped 100%. Who I think the Rockers would get clapped eventually. I think they'll die from a xenomorph. Beth. Oh yeah, definitely. I'd say chest burster. Sorry, Beth. Ella would definitely. Yeah, chest burster. 100%. I think I would say Amy tries to get Sammy, to die from a. They're probably running away from the face huggers, and then she tries to get Sammy killed, but it backfires really bad, and then yeah, dead. Blaney dead. I think she gets clapped by a Xeno. Dawn would try to talk, but Xeno doesn't care. Dead. Wayne and Roger definitely getting killed. I think a Xeno though. I don't see him dying from a face. I think they'll. Nah. No, I think they'll die from a Xenomorph. I'd say Ronnie probably dies from a chest pressure. Sorry. Devin and Carrie definitely getting. I think Devin would get face hugged, and then Carrie would scream when uh, when the chest burster comes out of him, and then eventually the xenomorph would kill her. Jeff, yeah, sorry pal, you're dead. Bridget, also you're dead. Dave, you're dead. These two, oh yeah, the larpers, yeah, they're dead. I'm gonna say, yeah, a chest burster kills them both. Sorry, you two. Not really sorry, you both suck. Stacy, dead. Beardo, dead. Who else? Sugar would put up a fight. Dead. Dakota, dead. No, I chest. Yeah, chest burster. The vegans, I would say they get killed by a chest burster. Unfortunately, yeah, a lot of people going out in the first few days. That's how powerful these creatures are. I'd say, yeah, Chase getting easily getting clapped. These two would probably just die of natural causes. They might be smart to stay tucked away, but I don't think they'll make it a few days. Brody definitely dying here. Katie and City 100% getting killed. Topher dead. Z, yeah, he's dead. Z's dead. Who else? Sierra, no, Sierra would. I don't think she would die here. I'm gonna say Trent goes here. Chest burster. Sorry, big guy. Not really big guy. Sky. No. I think everyone. Scarlet. No, she would not go here. Zoe. No, she will survive a few days. 100%. I'd say the mom and daughter would die. Um. No, they're both. I think chest burster will get them both. Brick. He dies. No, actually, he'll survive a few days. I believe so. The nerds, yeah, they're probably dead. Even though they're smart, they're just dead. And I would say that's it for a few days. A lot of people are taken out, but that's how powerful these Xenos are. All right, moving on to a couple of weeks. Now, I know I have the adversity twins up here, and I do know that they could easily, die. But I feel like if they get face hugged, they would be actually be immune to like the genetic material not affecting their bodies to create the little specimen. Because in total drama, there's always some bullshit that gets someone to get the bypass. Like how in Anne Maria has that you know, as she basically has like a metal head where she just can't really be penetrated in the head, and then these two were immune to the fire ants or the bullet ants, so I do think that they can bypass that. But I feel like they would eventually die because that's not saving them from getting stabbed from a xenomorph. I would say Anne Maria definitely eventually dies here. I feel like she would die in a few days, but whatever. Millie, chestburster, sorry. Brick, no, he would survive longer. I guess he's no, I feel like he would get himself killed at some point. Ezekiel, yeah, he's dead. Justin, dead. The stepbrothers are definitely dead. Sierra would see a face hunger and would sacrifice herself for Cody, but it doesn't matter because I think Cody, like someone would be screaming, running for their life. Like maybe Emma's running for her life, and Cody be like, "What is that?" And then, yeah, dead. And then eventually it also means Emma would get killed. Michelle dead. I would say Chestburster probably. Sammy, yeah, dead. Damien dead. Scary Girl would make it around a lot longer. I think the Ice Dancers would eventually get killed. Yeah, probably by Chestburster. Sorry. Um, DJ. Yeah, I think natural causes because he's. I would say he's too chicken to go outside. I think B. No. Yeah, I'd say he dies of natural causes. I would say Harold would eventually get himself. Yeah, he's dead. I think eventually he will get himself killed. I believe Sky. Yeah, she'll get a couple kills with the Xenos, but eventually she'll get overpowered. I don't see her getting a lot. The police cadets. I think they'll survive a bit longer than 2 weeks. Lashana. I think she'll just get very unlucky and just happen to run into a face hugger when she wasn't expecting it. I would say the same thing for Mike, unfortunately. So sorry, pal. Sean and Axel, Sean is more of a guy built for the zombies, but I do think he'll last more than a couple weeks. Axel's the one that I'm more questioning if I should keep. Sean's actually the one I'm more questioning, not Axel, because she's the survivalist, the one who's actually built for all kinds of scenarios, while Sean is just the zombie apocalypse guy. Joe, she would definitely live longer because she would want to have some authority over someone. Sam, yeah, he's dead. Lightning's dead. Ripper's dead. The Goths, they would probably get face hugged but won't care at all. Max, dead. Tyler, dead. Lindsay, dead. Noah and Owen, ooh. I think like these four would work very well together. Oh, Noah, Emma, Kitty, and Owen. But I feel like one of them will go, and that's gonna be Owen. He would no, he just get clapped. And I think that's it for a couple weeks. Now on to a month. I feel like eventually Sean would get killed here. I mean, because he is the zombie. I feel like he would like sacrifice himself for Jasmine or something, and he would just do that. Duncan and Gwen would be really good at this challenge, and I feel like they would screw over Courtney really bad, and she would die from a chest burster. Scott, I think the same thing. I think he would get really perky and then just get clapped. Zoe, no, Zoe's living longer. I think eventually Noah gets killed. The father and son, I think they're both dead. I think, yeah, he gets killed by a chest burster, and then Junior, I think he dies from natural causes because he would be in a safe house, but he'd be too scared because and then probably him missing his dad would really affect him from wanting to. As actually got pretty dark. I don't want to finish that sentence. Yeah, I think he would die of natural causes. And it's unfortunate for Junior, but that's just how it is. Bowie, I would say he eventually gets killed. Caleb, he eventually gets killed. Would say the police cadets eventually get killed here because they don't have they eventually have to go down at some point. Eva would definitely do well here, in my opinion. But I feel like eventually she would. Yeah, she would get killed. MK would definitely get killed. I don't think by Chester's. I feel like she would die from a xenomorph for Eva. Those Ryan would screw over Stephanie, and then he would eventually get clapped as I don't know karma or something. I feel like eventually Jasmine would get screwed over by a face hugger, like someone just screws her over big time. I think eventually Alejandro would get killed. He would also get screwed over, probably by like Heather. And then Izzy, Scary Girl would eventually get killed. And I think that's it for a month. All right, the final, I think this is 12 or 11 people of 3 months. I feel like eventually Scarlet would go. I would say by natural causes, just because she would just have her lab built up so much, but because I, I don't think she's chicken to go outside, but I feel like she would. There would just be no food or water nearby, and that would just be bad for her. I'd say eventually Priya probably gets screwed over by like Joe. I think like these two would work together, but then Joe would be like, "Sorry, nothing personal," and Priya gets screwed over big time. I would say eventually Zoe dies. Again, she could make it all the way, but no, I feel like she would just get insanely bad luck, and then just like too much. Like she'll get like stuck to like the goop or like the stuff that the xenomorphs create to get like their host stuck to the wall, so it makes it harder for them to escape from a face hugger, and then that's how she goes. I believe these two. I think Kitty and Emma would get into a situation where one of them has to sacrifice themselves. Kitty would get face hugged, and then like Emma would kill her by via like mercy killing. But since we're just gonna say that she dies from a chest burster because that's technically what would have happened. But Emma would do like a mercy kill on her, so she doesn't have to go for the pain. Uh, I would say eventually Heather and Joe would meet up and then eventually like try to get them together to work together, and then I think Joe ultimately gets screwed over by Heather at some point. I would say no. Gwen's probably gonna survive, and then Emma. Unfortunately, I think she would die of natural causes. She's too scared. Maybe because she misses her sister, and I could also see her just giving herself up to a xenomorph as well. But I would say natural causes is where she goes. And there you have it, folks. Those are all the survivors of what I would think would happen if the Total Drama universe got into a xenomorph apocalypse who would live: Duncan, Gwen, Axel, Heather, and Izzy. With that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. If you guys like this video, be sure to subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you on the next one.